Beef jerky promises protein, energy, and convenience. But for seniors, some brands hide dangers far worse than you think. From sky-high sodium that spikes blood pressure to chemical preservatives banned overseas, many jerky labels betray the trust of older Americans trying to snack safely. Stay with me as we count down 9 beef jerky brands to avoid, and the 2 that are actually worth eating. Coming in at number 9, we've got Jack Link's. Jack Link's sells itself as America's #1 jerky brand, plastered across gas stations and grocery aisles from coast to coast. The red packaging is bold and familiar, catching your eye before you even reach the checkout counter. But behind that bright wrapper, lab tests have shown shockingly high sodium levels, often exceeding 600 milligrams per single serving. For a senior managing high blood pressure or taking heart medication, that's not just a number on a label. That's a hidden risk waiting to spike your readings and strain your cardiovascular system with every chewy bite. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day for seniors with hypertension. Just 2 servings of Jack Link's jerky, and you're nearly at your limit before lunch even arrives. Customers complain about the greasy texture that coats your fingers and leaves an oily residue on the roof of your mouth. The artificial smoke flavor is overpowering, almost chemical in its intensity, masking what should be the natural taste of quality beef. When you open a bag, the smell hits you first, synthetic and sharp. Nothing like real wood smoke curling from a backyard grill. This was supposed to be a lean, healthy snack, a convenient source of protein for active seniors who want to maintain muscle mass and energy. Instead, it's a betrayal wrapped in familiar branding. The truth is, Jack Link's prioritizes shelf life and mass production over the health of the people eating it. Sodium acts as a preservative, extending the jerky's time on store shelves while quietly contributing to heart disease, kidney strain, and fluid retention in older bodies that can't process excess salt the way they used to. The texture itself tells a story. Real, high-quality jerky should be firm but tender, easy to tear and chew without feeling like you're working through shoe leather or fighting a slick, greasy coating. Jack Link's misses that mark consistently. Complaints flood online reviews, seniors describing jaw fatigue and an unpleasant aftertaste that lingers long after the snack is gone. For someone with dental work, implants, or sensitive gums, this jerky isn't just unpleasant, it's practically inedible. And yet, Jack Link's remains the best-selling brand in America, a testament to marketing power and convenience rather than quality or safety. The company spends millions on advertising, sponsoring sports events and outdoor activities, positioning itself as the go-to snack for adventure and energy. But where's the adventure in risking your blood pressure? Where's the energy when your kidneys are working overtime to process all that sodium? Jack Link's counts on consumers not reading labels, not questioning ingredients, and not connecting their daily snack to their nightly blood pressure medication. For seniors on fixed incomes who shop on autopilot, grabbing the familiar red bag out of habit, this brand takes advantage of trust built over decades. It's a calculated gamble that your loyalty matters more than your health. Isn't it strange how the #1 brand became #1, not by being the safest or healthiest, but by being the loudest and most available? At number 8, it's Slim Jim. Yes, technically a jerky stick, not traditional jerky, but the dangers here are too serious to ignore. Slim Jims pack more sodium and additives than most canned soups, a shocking fact for something marketed as a quick protein snack. One single stick can contain nearly 40% of your daily saturated fat, the kind that clogs arteries and raises cholesterol levels in seniors already at risk for heart disease. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment. Mechanically separated chicken, a paste made by forcing bones and connective tissue through a sieve under high pressure, forms the base. Then come the additives: sodium nitrite, hydrolyzed soy protein, corn syrup, and artificial flavors whose exact composition remains a corporate secret. When you tear open that plastic wrapper, the smell is immediate and artificial, a processed meat odor that doesn't resemble anything natural. The texture is uniform, almost too smooth, with a slick casing that snaps between your teeth. For seniors who thought they were grabbing a quick protein fix between meals or on a road trip, the reality is far more troubling. You're actually fueling cholesterol buildup and kidney strain with every bite. Slim Jims have been recalled before for contamination risks, including potential listeria and salmonella exposure. In 2009, a massive recall affected products distributed nationwide after inspections revealed sanitation failures at processing plants. Listeria is particularly dangerous for seniors, whose immune systems don't fight infections as effectively as younger bodies. A case of listeriosis can lead to hospitalization, sepsis, and in severe cases, death. Yet Slim Jims remain on every gas station counter, every vending machine, Every checkout aisle impulse buy rack. The sodium content alone should raise red flags. One stick contains around 430 milligrams of sodium, but most people don't stop at one. Eat 2 or 3 during a long drive or while watching television, and you've consumed more sodium than a fast food burger, all while thinking you made a healthier choice. For seniors taking diuretics for heart conditions, this sodium load can counteract medication, causing dangerous fluid retention and swelling in the legs and ankles. The saturated fat contributes to plaque buildup in arteries already narrowed by age and lifestyle. Slim Jim's parent company, Conagra Brands, generates billions in revenue annually, yet customer safety remains secondary to profit margins and mass production efficiency. The brand targets young men and convenience shoppers, but seniors on fixed incomes often buy Slim Jims because they're cheap, portable, and filling. That bargain comes at a cost your body pays later. Isn't it strange how billion-dollar food companies keep having recalls, yet their products are still on every shelf, unchanged and unchallenged? Now at number 7, we've got Oberto. Oberto markets itself with the cheerful phrase, "Oh boy, Oberto," a nostalgic callback to simpler times and wholesome food. But seniors might not be saying "oh boy" after learning the truth behind the branding. Reports from the USDA show that Oberto has faced multiple safety warnings in the past related to preservatives, particularly sodium nitrite. This chemical is added to jerky to maintain color, prevent bacterial growth, and extend shelf life. On the surface, sodium nitrite seems like a practical preservative. But when it combines with the amino acids in protein-rich foods like beef, especially under high heat or in the acidic environment of your stomach, it can form nitrosamines. These compounds are classified as probable human carcinogens by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. For a senior trying to avoid cancer risks, especially gastrointestinal cancers that become more common with age, this is a hidden landmine in a shiny bag. Oberto's original beef jerky contains sodium nitrite as a primary preservative, listed plainly on the ingredient panel that most shoppers never read. The company defends this choice, arguing that sodium nitrite levels fall within FDA-approved limits. But those limits were set decades ago, before we understood cumulative exposure and the long-term effects of consuming preserved meats regularly. Studies link processed meat consumption to increased colorectal cancer risk, with even small daily amounts raising your chances over time. For seniors who eat jerky as a regular snack, the risk compounds with every bag. The texture of Oberto jerky is inconsistent. Some pieces are tender and easy to chew, while others are tough and sinewy, requiring significant jaw strength. Customers describe a slightly metallic aftertaste, likely from the preservatives interacting with the beef. When you open a package, the smell is pungent, a mix of salt, smoke, and something vaguely chemical. It's not the clean, savory aroma of home-smoked meat. It's the smell of industrial processing and extended shelf stability. Oberto has also faced criticism for unclear labeling regarding country of origin. While the company is based in Washington state, some of its beef is sourced internationally, raising questions about quality control and inspection standards. For seniors who want to support American agriculture and ensure stringent safety oversight, this lack of transparency feels like a betrayal. The USDA warnings from previous years haven't resulted in recalls, but they did highlight concerns about sanitation practices and preservative levels during facility inspections. These warnings are public record, accessible through Freedom of Information Act requests, yet they rarely make headlines. Oberto continues to market itself as a family-owned company with wholesome values, a story that resonates with older consumers who remember when food companies prioritized people over profit. But the sodium nitrite remains, the unclear sourcing continues, and the carcinogenic risk persists. Why are foods with chemicals Europe bans still considered safe in the United States? At number 6, it's Krave Jerky. Krave positioned itself as a healthier, gourmet jerky alternative when it launched, targeting health-conscious consumers who wanted bold flavors without the guilt. The packaging is sleek and modern, with terms like artisan and chef-crafted printed across the front. But lab testing revealed sugar levels as high as a candy bar in some flavors, a shocking discovery for a product marketed as a protein snack. The sweet chipotle flavor contains 9 grams of sugar per serving, comparable to a chocolate chip cookie. For seniors managing diabetes or prediabetes, this is outright betrayal. Blood sugar spikes from hidden sugars in savory snacks can be just as dangerous as obvious desserts, disrupting insulin management and contributing to long-term complications like neuropathy, vision loss, and kidney disease. A so-called protein snack delivering the sugar hit of dessert isn't just misleading marketing. It's a health hazard disguised as wellness food. Worse, some Krave products are loaded with natural flavors, a vague term that hides a multitude of chemical additives. Under FDA regulations, natural flavors can include dozens of chemical compounds derived from natural sources but heavily processed and modified. These additives can include preservatives, emulsifiers, and flavor enhancers that consumers would never knowingly choose. The term natural sounds wholesome and safe, and that's exactly the point. It's designed to make you feel good about your purchase without questioning what you're actually eating. When you bite into Krave jerky, the initial taste is bold and complex, layered with spices and sweetness, but the aftertaste is sticky, clinging to your teeth and the roof of your mouth, a telltale sign of high sugar content. The texture is tender, almost too tender, lacking the firm chew of traditional jerky. This softness comes from added moisture and tenderizers, which also contribute to shorter shelf life and the need for more preservatives. Krave was acquired by Hershey Company in 2015 for $220 million, a clear signal that this brand is more about profit than health. Hershey, known for candy and chocolate, saw Krave as an entry into the booming protein snack market. The acquisition didn't change the recipes for the better. If anything, sugar content increased in some flavors, aligning with Hershey's expertise in creating addictive, sweet products. For seniors who trusted Krave because of its premium positioning and health claims, the truth is a bitter pill. You're paying more for a product that delivers more sugar, more vague ingredients, and more risk to your metabolic health. The marketing emphasizes grass-fed beef and responsibly sourced ingredients, but those claims ring hollow when the sugar content undermines the entire health premise. Seniors watching their weight and blood sugar deserve better than gourmet lies wrapped in artisan packaging. Why are foods with chemicals Europe bans still considered safe in the United States? Stick around. The solution comes at the very end, and it could change how you shop forever. At number 5, we've got Wild Bill's. Wild Bill's jerky prides itself on a real cowboy image, complete with Old West branding and rugged packaging that evokes frontier nostalgia. The label promises authentic flavors and traditional preparation, appealing to seniors who remember or romanticize simpler times. But inspection reports tell a very different story. Multiple citations for sanitation issues at processing plants have been documented, raising serious questions about food safety standards. These violations include improper temperature control, inadequate cleaning of equipment, and insufficient employee hygiene protocols. For seniors with weakened immune systems, food handled in unsanitary facilities can mean serious illness. Salmonella and E. coli thrive in environments where sanitation fails, and both can cause life-threatening infections in older adults. Customer complaints describe jerky with rancid odors, slimy texture, and a chemical aftertaste that lingers long after eating. Rancid meat develops when fats oxidize, producing compounds that smell sour and taste off. This happens when jerky is stored improperly, exposed to heat or light, or made from lower-quality cuts with higher fat content. The slimy texture suggests bacterial growth or excessive moisture, both signs that preservation failed. Some customers report finding white or green spots on jerky pieces, likely mold or bacterial colonies visible to the naked eye. These aren't isolated incidents. Online reviews and complaints submitted to the FDA paint a consistent pattern of quality control failures. Wild Bill's operates on slim margins, cutting costs wherever possible to compete with larger brands. That means cheaper ingredients, faster processing, and less rigorous safety testing. The result is a product that looks rustic and authentic, but carries risks no senior should have to face. The smell when you open a bad bag of Wild Bill's is unmistakable. Instead of savory smoke and beef, you get a sour, almost putrid odor that makes you recoil. The jerky feels damp to the touch, not the dry, preserved texture you expect. Biting into it releases juices that should never be there, a sign that moisture levels are dangerously high. Wild Bill's also uses sodium nitrite and other chemical preservatives, compounding the cancer risk we discussed earlier. The combination of unsanitary production and questionable ingredients creates a double threat for seniors already vulnerable to foodborne illness and chronic disease. The brand's distribution is limited compared to major players, often found in truck stops, convenience stores, and discount outlets. This lower profile means less scrutiny and fewer consequences when problems arise. Wild Bill's can continue operating below the radar, avoiding the public relations disasters that force larger companies to improve. For seniors on road trips or shopping at smaller stores, Wild Bill's might seem like a local, authentic choice. But that rugged cowboy label hides a troubling truth. What smells wild might just be spoiled. Coming in at number 4, it's Matador. Matador jerky is owned by Frito-Lay, a subsidiary of PepsiCo, one of the largest food conglomerates in the world. The brand markets itself as bold and adventurous, with spicy flavors and edgy packaging designed to appeal to younger consumers. But hidden inside the bag is a sodium bomb that poses serious risks for seniors. Nearly 700 milligrams of sodium per serving makes Matador one of the saltiest jerkies on the market. For someone on blood pressure medication, just 2 servings could push you into a hypertensive crisis, a dangerous spike in blood pressure that can cause stroke, heart attack, or kidney damage. The symptoms include severe headache, chest pain, shortness of breath, and vision changes. These aren't minor side effects, they're medical emergencies that land seniors in the hospital. Matador also contains MSG, or monosodium glutamate, a flavor enhancer that amplifies the taste of savory foods. While the FDA considers MSG generally recognized as safe, many people experience adverse reactions including headaches, flushing, sweating, and heart palpitations. For seniors with sensitivities or taking certain medications, MSG can trigger symptoms that mimic cardiac events, causing unnecessary panic and ER visits. The brand also uses artificial coloring, including Red 40, to enhance visual appeal. Red 40 has been linked to hyperactivity in children and allergic reactions in sensitive individuals, yet it remains legal in the United States despite being restricted or banned in several European countries. The flavor of Matador is intense, almost aggressively spicy, designed to mask the high sodium and chemical additives with bold taste. When you chew it, the heat builds quickly, leaving your mouth burning and your tongue tingling. This isn't the natural warmth of cayenne or jalapeno. It's the sharp chemical burn of artificial capsaicin extracts and flavor compounds. The texture is chewy but slightly rubbery, with an unnatural bounce that suggests heavy processing and added binders. After eating Matador, many customers report intense thirst, a direct result of the extreme sodium content. Your body tries to dilute the salt by pulling water into your bloodstream, leaving you dehydrated and craving fluids. For seniors with heart failure or kidney disease, this fluid shift can be dangerous, overloading an already stressed cardiovascular system. Frito-Lay's ownership means Matador benefits from massive distribution networks and marketing budgets, ensuring availability in virtually every store. But that corporate backing doesn't translate to better ingredients or safer formulations. If anything, it means more efficient cost-cutting and profit maximization at the expense of consumer health. The adventure Matador promises is really just a roller coaster ride for your blood pressure, kidneys, and heart. Isn't it odd how adventure in snacks always seems to mean loading seniors with salt and chemicals? If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It's free, and it means you'll never miss these exposés. Now, at number 3, it's Bridgeford Jerky. This budget-friendly brand often shows up in discount bins, dollar stores, and clearance racks, appealing to seniors on fixed incomes who need to stretch every dollar. The price is tempting, often half the cost of premium brands, making it seem like a smart choice for regular snacking. But you get what you pay for, and with Bridgeford, what you're paying for is risk. Multiple customer complaints cite moldy jerky sealed in unopened packages, a clear sign of quality control failures during production or packaging. Mold on meat products isn't just unpleasant. It can produce mycotoxins, toxic compounds that cause allergic reactions, respiratory problems, and in severe cases, organ damage. For seniors with compromised immune systems or chronic lung conditions like COPD, inhaling or ingesting mold spores can trigger serious health crises. Finding mold in a sealed package means contamination happened before or during the packaging process, suggesting problems with facility cleanliness, ingredient quality, or moisture control. Bridgeford's ingredient list includes potassium sorbate and other chemical preservatives tied to stomach irritation and digestive upset. Potassium sorbate is commonly used in foods to prevent mold and yeast growth, but it can cause nausea, diarrhea, and abdominal cramping in sensitive individuals. For seniors already juggling sensitive digestion, acid reflux, or irritable bowel syndrome, eating Bridgeford jerky is like eating risk straight from the bag. The texture of Bridgeford jerky varies wildly from package to package. Sometimes it's dry and brittle, crumbling into dust when you try to bite it. Other times it's soft and oddly moist, bending like rubber instead of snapping cleanly. This inconsistency points to poor manufacturing standards and inadequate quality checks. Each batch seems to be a gamble, and for seniors with limited budgets who can't afford to throw away bad food, that gamble has real consequences. The taste is bland and one-dimensional, heavily salted to mask the low quality of the beef. There's no depth of flavor, no complexity from spices or smoke, just salt and a vague meatiness that fades quickly. Some customers describe a sour or metallic aftertaste, likely from the preservatives and processing chemicals. When you open a package of Bridgeford, the smell is weak and uninviting. Nothing like the rich aroma of quality jerky. It smells flat, almost stale, as if the ingredients were marginal to begin with. Bridgeford has been in business since 1932. A family-owned company that built its reputation on affordability and accessibility. But longevity doesn't equal safety, and tradition doesn't excuse cutting corners. The company's focus on maintaining low prices has led to compromises in ingredient quality and manufacturing oversight. For seniors who remember Bridgeford from decades ago and assume it's still the same reliable product, the reality is a decline masked by familiar branding. The discount price attracts vulnerable shoppers, people who can't afford premium options, and trust that even cheap jerky meets basic safety standards. That trust is misplaced, and the consequences range from mild stomach upset to serious illness requiring medical intervention. Ever noticed how the cheapest options in any category always seem to have the most complaints? At number 2, we've got Great Value Jerky, the Walmart house brand. Cheap, accessible, and heavily purchased by seniors on fixed incomes who shop at Walmart for its low prices and convenience. Great Value products line entire aisles, covering every food category with budget-friendly alternatives to name brands. The jerky is no exception, priced significantly lower than competitors and displayed prominently near checkout lanes for impulse purchases. But Great Value Jerky hides massive sodium content, often exceeding 700 milligrams per serving, making it one of the saltiest options on the market. That's nearly half the recommended daily sodium intake for seniors in a single snack. Combine that with inconsistent texture, sometimes tough as leather, and other times slimy and greasy, and you have a product that fails on both health and quality metrics. Walmart has faced recalls on jerky products due to mislabeling allergens like soy, a serious issue for seniors with soy allergies or sensitivities. Soy is a common allergen that can cause reactions ranging from mild hives and digestive upset to severe anaphylaxis requiring emergency epinephrine. For a senior with a known soy allergy, eating mislabeled Great Value jerky isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous, potentially life-threatening, and completely avoidable if proper labeling and quality control existed. The recalls happened quietly, with limited media coverage and minimal public awareness. Walmart removed affected products from shelves, issued refund notices, but many customers never heard about the recall and may have already consumed the mislabeled jerky. This pattern of quiet recalls and minimal accountability allows problems to persist without forcing meaningful change. Great Value sources its products from various manufacturers, contracting with third-party producers to create Walmart-branded items at the lowest possible cost. This model prioritizes price over quality, with Walmart squeezing suppliers to cut expenses wherever possible. The result is a race to the bottom, where manufacturers use cheaper ingredients, faster processing, and less rigorous testing to meet Walmart's price demands. For seniors shopping at Walmart, Great Value seems like a smart way to save money without sacrificing too much quality. But the trade-offs are real and dangerous. The high sodium contributes to hypertension, heart disease, and kidney failure. The inconsistent texture suggests poor quality control and variable ingredient quality. The mislabeling recalls indicate systemic problems with transparency and safety verification. When you open a package of Great Value jerky, the smell varies batch to batch. Sometimes it's acceptably smoky and meaty. Other times it's bland and slightly off, with a chemical undertone that makes you hesitate. The taste is aggressively salty, overwhelming any other flavors and leaving you parched. The texture is the most inconsistent of any brand, with some pieces tender enough to chew easily and others requiring serious jaw strength, potentially painful for seniors with dental issues or TMJ. Walmart is the largest retailer in the United States, serving millions of customers daily. Seniors make up a significant portion of that customer base, relying on Walmart for affordable groceries and household goods. The company has a responsibility to ensure its house brand products meet high safety and quality standards. Instead, Great Value prioritizes profit margins and market share, trusting that customers won't look too closely at labels or connect their health problems to their snack choices. Do you think recalls are accidents or just the ones they actually got caught on? What's the worst jerky brand you've ever opened? Drop it below. Finally, at number 1, the worst offender, Country Archer. Country Archer markets itself as grass-fed, clean protein, targeting health-conscious consumers who are willing to pay premium prices for superior ingredients. The packaging is beautiful, with earthy tones and language emphasizing sustainability, animal welfare, and transparency. For seniors trying to make better food choices, Country Archer seems like the obvious answer, a brand that aligns with values and promises quality worthy of the higher price tag. But consumer watchdog reports highlight misleading labeling. a betrayal of the very trust Country Archer worked so hard to build. Independent testing has shown that grass-fed beef claims don't always match reality, with some products containing beef from cattle finished on grain or mixed with lower-quality cuts. The grass-fed label is loosely regulated in the United States, allowing companies to make claims that sound impressive but lack rigorous verification. True grass-fed beef comes from cattle that eat only grass and forage throughout their lives, producing leaner meat with different nutritional profiles. When companies mix grass-fed beef with conventional beef or use cattle that were grass-fed only part of their lives, the health benefits diminish and the marketing becomes deceptive. Country Archer's marinades are sugar-laden, with some flavors containing 8 or 9 grams of sugar per serving. For a senior with diabetes or prediabetes, this can spike blood sugar levels dangerously, counteracting the protein benefits and contributing to long-term complications. The sugar also adds empty calories, undermining weight management efforts and contributing to metabolic syndrome. Clean protein shouldn't come with a side of hidden sugar that sabotages your health goals. Customers often complain of jerky that tastes rancid or sour, descriptions that suggest fat oxidation or bacterial spoilage. Grass-fed beef typically has lower fat content than conventional beef, which should make it less prone to rancidity. The fact that Country Archer products develop these off flavors suggests problems with storage, transportation, or the quality of the original meat. Some customers report receiving bags with jerky that smells like ammonia or vinegar, clear warning signs that something went wrong during production or preservation. The texture of Country Archer jerky is tender, sometimes too tender, lacking the satisfying chew of properly made jerky. This softness can indicate added moisture retainers or tenderizing enzymes, processing aids that aren't always disclosed on labels. When jerky is too moist, it becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, especially if storage conditions aren't perfect. For seniors who buy Country Archer in bulk to save money or keep it in their pantry for extended periods, this moisture issue becomes a safety concern. Country Archer is owned by a private equity firm that acquired the brand in 2019, a transition that often signals a shift from quality-focused operations to profit-driven scaling. Private equity ownership frequently means cost-cutting measures, ingredient substitutions, and increased production volumes that strain quality control systems. The brand's original founder is no longer involved in daily operations, and the commitment to transparency and sustainability has become more marketing rhetoric than operational reality. For seniors relying on clean branding and trusting that grass-fed means safe and healthy, this feels like a betrayal of trust, dressed up in wholesome packaging and sold at a premium price. You're paying more for a product that doesn't deliver on its core promises, a product that may actually be less safe than straightforward conventional options. The disconnect between Country Archer's marketing and its reality is the most egregious on this list because it specifically targets consumers who are trying to make informed, health-conscious choices. These are seniors reading labels, comparing products, and investing extra money because they believe it matters. When that trust is exploited for profit, the betrayal cuts deeper than a simple budget brand that never promised much to begin with. Isn't it disturbing how the brands marketing themselves as the healthiest are often the ones hiding the most? Most people never learn how to fix this, but we'll break it down right now. The first actual safe option is Epic Provisions Beef Jerky. Epic Provisions focuses on grass-fed beef from verified sources, with lower sodium content averaging around 300 to 400 milligrams per serving, roughly half of what most conventional brands contain. This reduction makes a real difference for seniors managing blood pressure or heart conditions, allowing you to enjoy protein snacks without compromising cardiovascular health. Epic uses minimal ingredients, typically just beef, salt, and spices, avoiding the chemical preservatives and flavor enhancers that plague most jerky brands. The absence of sodium nitrite means you're not exposing yourself to potential carcinogens with every bite. Epic also avoids added sugars in most flavors, making it suitable for diabetic seniors or anyone watching their blood sugar levels. The texture is firm but not overly tough, easy to chew without excessive jaw fatigue, and the flavor is clean and savory, highlighting the natural taste of quality beef rather than masking it with smoke flavors and salt. Epic Provisions is transparent about sourcing, providing information about ranch partners and animal welfare standards on their website and packaging. This transparency builds trust and allows consumers to verify claims rather than relying on vague marketing language. The company is certified by third-party organizations that audit grass-fed claims, adding an extra layer of accountability that brands like Country Archer lack. For seniors who want to support sustainable agriculture and ethical animal treatment while prioritizing their health, Epic Provisions delivers on all fronts without the betrayals and hidden risks of cheaper alternatives. The second recommendation is Tillamook Country Smoker Zero Sugar Jerky. Tillamook Country Smoker offers a zero-sugar line specifically designed for consumers managing diabetes or reducing sugar intake. a thoughtful product choice that addresses a real health need. The jerky delivers high protein, typically 11 grams per serving, supporting muscle maintenance and satiety without the blood sugar spikes caused by sugar-laden alternatives. Sodium content is moderate, around 400 to 450 milligrams per serving, still higher than ideal, but significantly lower than brands like Matador or Great Value. Tillamook uses recognizable ingredients, beef, water, salt, spices, and avoids the long list of chemical additives found in mass-market brands. The zero-sugar formulation doesn't sacrifice flavor. The jerky is well seasoned with natural spices, offering satisfying taste without relying on sweetness or artificial flavor enhancers. The texture is consistent, firm and chewy without being rubbery or tough, and the jerky tears cleanly, making it accessible for seniors with dental work or jaw issues. Tillamook is a well-established brand with a reputation for quality dairy and meat products, based in Oregon and committed to regional sourcing and traditional production methods. The company's focus on quality over cost-cutting means more rigorous testing, better ingredient selection, and fewer safety incidents. For heart-conscious and diabetic seniors who need a reliable, clean protein snack, Tillamook Country Smoker Zero Sugar Jerky offers a safer option that respects your health needs without patronizing marketing or hidden betrayals. Beef jerky can be a convenient, protein-rich snack that supports active aging and healthy eating. But as we've seen, most brands on the market prioritize profit over safety, loading their products with sodium, sugar, chemical preservatives, and misleading labels. For seniors managing chronic conditions, taking multiple medications, and navigating fixed incomes, these hidden dangers aren't just disappointing. They're genuinely harmful, contributing to hypertension, diabetes complications, kidney strain, and even cancer risk. The brands we've exposed today, from Jack Link's to Country Archer, represent a food system that exploits trust and convenience while delivering products that betray the very consumers who rely on them most. But the solution exists. Epic Provisions and Tillamook Country Smoker prove that jerky can be made safely, with clean ingredients, transparent sourcing, and real respect for consumer health. You don't have to accept sodium bombs and chemical cocktails just because they're convenient or familiar. You can choose better, demand transparency, and vote with your dollars for companies that prioritize people over profit. Your health matters too much to gamble on brands that cut corners and hide risks behind clever marketing. Subscribe now, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.